Hey guys, Adam Trigger here. Conference tournaments are in full force. All the big boys start today, and that's where we're going to start on the College Basketball Show. We're heading to the ACC for opening round action between the Syracuse Orange and the Florida State Seminoles. I'm going to make a bold statement right here, as bold as this orange shirt that I'm wearing right now. If Syracuse plays defense, if they defend with the intensity that they have the last couple games, I think they can beat any team in this conference not named Duke. And that is a bold statement for a team that is, I believe, finished 14th in the conference this year and is an underdog in this game to Florida State. Now, the flip side of that, if they don't defend, it'll look like the first meeting between these two teams where they give up 90 and have no chance. So that's what we're dealing with here. But that's also why Syracuse is an underdog. And I'll point to their last few games. Listen, Syracuse, it's been a historically bad season for the Orange. They barely made this tournament, finishing four. You needed to be in the top, I think, 15 or 14 to get in. So they just got in. But they've played their best basketball of the season the last 6 games. 5-1 against the spread over that span. The only ATS loss that Syracuse has had in their final 6 games was the Virginia Tech game, where they were a 4-point underdog and lost by 6 in overtime. So Syracuse has played much better. And I'll attribute it to the intensity on the defensive end. You go back to the Miami game, and the defense was non-existent. They gave up 90 plus to that Miami team. The game before, I think Boston College dropped close to 90 on them as well. They arguably should have won the SMU game earlier in the middle of last week. They led most of the game. I thought it was their best defensive effort of the whole season, at least of the conference season. They kind of lost that game at the buzzer. But over the weekend, totally wiped out Virginia. Now, Virginia's not a great offensive team, but the defensive intensity was there, and that's what they need to do against Florida State. I guess my concern here is Florida State's defense is very good. And they've got some bigs. They've got the rim defense. And what Syracuse has been able to do well lately is get the ball to Eddie Lampkin and have him sort of like, he's definitely sort of playing his best ball of the year, of course. Well-traveled, fifth-year senior. Did not start off well for Syracuse, but big double-double in the last game. And if you can get that type of effort from him, Syracuse is going to be in a lot of games. Of course, Syracuse was without J.J. Starling earlier this year. He's back, sort of kind of running the offense. So, again, I see a Syracuse team that's much improved. I do think there's a little bit of line value at 3.5. I made this one 2.5. So, slight line value to Syracuse. As far as the matchup is concerned, I'm a little bit concerned that Florida State's defense might be too much, which is why this isn't a client play yet. But I got to be honest, I'll be thinking about this one all day. I'm really tempted to take the 3.5 with Syracuse on the basis, A, they've played their best ball over the last 6 games, have been really good as an underdog against a number in that span, and B, they did get bounced from this tournament by NC State last year. In a similar game, a team that went to the Final Four. Listen, I don't think Syracuse maybe thinks they can win, but I certainly think they can advance. And I think they know, based on the effort they gave against SMU earlier this week, that they can play with even the top teams in this league right now. So Syracuse plus 3.5 is the lean. And if I do play that, I'll tweet it out. So make sure you are following me on Twitter at AdamTriggerWT. Make sure you check out my page because it's $5 Tuesday. I'll have one of my 4% top-rated plays up for just $5. And I've also got a great special that will be posted on the page later today. That's March Madness, or all access the rest of the way. The rest of my college basketball plays, conference tournaments, NCAA tournament, NIT, CBI, through the rest of the regular season. I've really done well in March. The last 3 years, since March 2023, I'm 80-52. That's 60.6%. 82.56 units in the month of March. That includes this March as well. And let's keep it rolling. Let's have another good March. It's been my best month of the year, and I hope that keeps going this season. Thought it was going to keep going last night, but Wilmington broke your boy's heart last night. UNC Wilmington, minus 3.5 was my 5% play. They managed to get to the free throw line, 4 seconds left in a 2-point game, hit them both. And what happens? Daywilk Tavares comes down, nails a 3 as time expires, and hands me, I think, my first losing day in over a week. So 1 and 2 for me last night. The 5% play falls with Wilmington, but I'm a glutton for punishment, and you know that that's where I'm going for this play right here, the Coastal Athletic Association championship game, UNC Wilmington and Delaware. And, I haven't played this yet, but I do like Wilmington here. I got to be honest, I hope for a better number. I don't know, maybe we'll see some Delaware money throughout the day. When Delaware was only like a 6-point dog last night against top-seeded Towson and then beat them, I was kind of hoping to get a similar number with Wilmington, in which case it would have been, a client play. I would have been right back on the Seahawks. And I still very well may be right back on the Seahawks, but I do think the books did their jobs here with getting this number right. It was 7.5, and it went up to 8, and now 8.5. So I think I would need this to go back to 8 to even consider playing. But I certainly wouldn't be on Delaware. And I do like Wilmington, and I actually love the matchup for Wilmington in this game. So listen, Delaware it's been an incredible run, but I do think I can explain how this happened. So of course, if you haven't been watching, the Delaware Blue Hens, the 12 seed in the Coastal Athletic Association tournament, have now won 4 games in 4 days to get to the final. And as impressive as that is, it's not that shocking to me, and I'll explain why. Round 1, Stony Brook, terrible team. Round 2, Campbell has been without Jason Sinani since mid-February, and they've been a far worse team without him. So that was kind of like a close game. I understand how Delaware won there. The next game was William and Mary, which actually was a really good matchup for Delaware because William and Mary plays a very similar game to Delaware. And of course, William and Mary gave up 100 points on the way to a loss. And then Towson last night is a really good team, but Towson's terrible offensively. And that was always going to be Towson's undoing at some point in this tournament, was a game where they had to score and they couldn't score. And that's exactly what happened last night. Towson's really not built to come back. Delaware got hot, and they were able to build a lead, and Towson just couldn't come back. None of those things are going to happen against Wilmington, and I'll explain why. So Wilmington has the athletes. Wilmington is the most athletic team in this conference, and they also have athletes that score. So most athletic team, one of the highest rated offenses, which makes sense that they're power rated higher than Towson, because Wilmington, in my opinion, is Towson-esque, except they can score. Towson can't score. Wilmington plays slow, which is not what Delaware wants. So very similar to Towson, Wilmington plays a pace that's outside the top 300 nationally. But the difference between those two teams is Wilmington will take the transition if you give it to them, and they get right to the rim, and they get right to the rim with athletes, and that's something that I think Delaware is going to struggle with. So Delaware all season, their defense has been terrible. This is a team that can really get exploited in transition. They can really get exploited pretty much anywhere defensively. So they've had to sort of do it by outscoring teams or running into teams that can't score, like a Stony Brook, a Campbell, or a Towson. Wilmington's not going to be that. This is a very good offensive team. They've got a couple bigs in Obioa and Kamari McGriff that should have their way here. So Delaware's going to have to go just scorched earth from 3. That's really the only way they stay in this game. They're going to have to shoot an obnoxious percentage from 3 and just score at will. I don't see how it happens. The regular season meetings between these two teams, Wilmington won by 10, and then they won by 30. I think best case scenario, Delaware keeps it within 10. That's best case scenario. If Delaware runs out of gas, I think you see Wilmington win this one by 20 plus. So I'm tempted here to lay the 8.5 with Wilmington. I'm hoping for some Delaware money throughout the day. If I get it, I'll probably be on the Seahawks again. But either way, it would be UNC Wilmington laying the points or pass. A couple leans there for you. For me, Syracuse plus 3.5, Wilmington minus 8.5. Stay tuned to my Twitter throughout the day at AdamTriggerWT. If I play one of those two or I play both of them, I'll let you know on Twitter. I'll have a 4% top-rated play up for $5 as part of $5 Tuesday. And check out that special all access the rest of the way. We've done extremely well in March. We're going to do it again this year. Like and subscribe to the WagerTalk YouTube channel. We'll see you guys back here in the morning.